Hey, I'm Dennis, and I'm going to be one of the interviewers for today.
Okay.
And a question that popped up in our convo yesterday about investing and finance was, what do schools teach us about money? What schools teach us about money, and is it enough to be prepared financially for adulthood?
Like what schools teach you? I would say no. In general, like
Mm-hmm.
even if you're a finance major, you may learn about like the basics of accounting, but you never really learn how to, manage or balance a checkbook, or what to do with your first credit card, or like how to build a diverse portfolio. I mean, I took like a 400 level finance class my senior year of college, and that's when I first got introduced to those concepts in the academic setting. I knew about them beforehand
Mm-hmm.
just from some of my extracurricular activities, but I don't think that the schools do a good job at that at all. And that's kind of why we wanted to start this, because Ariel is such a great school, but not everybody can go there. But we
Yeah.
know that most young people have smartphones. So we're like, we already spend so much time like on Instagram and all these other apps. Like, why don't we create like an engaging tool that allows people to interact with the stock market?
Hmm. That's cool. That answered it.
So my name is Amaya, and I'm also one of the interviewers. One of our questions was, "What is a credit score, and why do we need it?"
Yeah, so basically a credit score is like it's a grade that shows you, or shows creditors or people that will lend you money, how good of a person you are as far as being able to pay back money. It's important to have a good credit score because that will allow you to borrow money from financial institutions, whether it's to buy a car, to get a car loan, or to get a mortgage to purchase a house, or to get a revolving line of credit to finance your business operations. So I think the personal credit score is important. I don't think it's the end all be all, but unfortunately, with a lot of these different financial institutions, you having good credit standing is something that's going to be important. As far as how you can go about building credit, I would say that one, if you all don't already have like a debit card or a checking or savings account, I would definitely encourage you all to do that. There's also like these, and then with those banks that I'm sure that you may have those account with, you can ask them to have like a predetermined credit card limit. Maybe it's $500 or something, and that'll allow you to start building your credit early on, because you're not just going to be borrowing money out the gate. But it's a way to start thinking about that early. But I would definitely encourage you all, as you go to college, to think about some of those like I forgot the exact name of those credit cards, but they like have predetermined limits on them, and then that way it's kind of like linked to like your checking account. So that way you know that you're not going to ever like go over that balance and run amok on the credit card.
You say early, like what's the earliest age you could start doing that stuff for your credit?
18. 18 for sure. I think you can get like your first like credit card on your own, but I know you can open like checking and savings account like with your guardian beforehand. And it is possible for your parents, if they have credit cards, to like add you to their accounts. So then that way you can like start, leveraging your parents to build up your own credit. I personally did not do that, but I know friends that's something that they did.
Okay,
That's
one of the last questions about credit score was, "Do I need my credit score to invest?"
true.
No, you don't. Investing is all your, typically, at least for you, it's going to be your own money out the gate. I think more sophisticated investors, they're able to use like margin, and they can basically borrow money to buy stocks and other securities, but that's more sophisticated. And I wouldn't encourage you all, as individuals that are curious about investing but may have not yet started yet, to begin doing that. So to answer your question, you don't need a credit score to invest. You may, if you're not 18, you may need a guardian to open up a brokerage account to start investing. But it's as simple as like connecting your checking account and depositing funds withdrawing funds from your checking account to the brokerage account. But with technology, you can do that like on your smartphone.
Simple as that. That's good.
Yep.
Our next question is, where should we put our money in? Like, for example, a bank account, like you said, a bank account, or like a credit union, or should we just like straight up put it in stocks?
I would say, given the fact that you guys are young and have more time to like stomach different market cycles like recessions and then times of growth, you're gonna probably want most of your wealth in the stock market. However, I would say that you also do want to have cash. So maybe it's that you are like saving a portion and keeping some money just like for a rainy day, just for an emergency. And then and then some of your money is going into your brokerage account to invest in stocks. But given that you're so young, I would say that you shouldn't put most of your money in your savings account, because savings accounts interest rates are very dismal. They're basically non-existent. And then you have the ability to make more money by investing in the stock market. Like, for example, there's an index, or there's this thing called the S&P 500, which is essentially represents the 500 largest companies. And you could buy a stock in that. It's called an ETF or an index fund. So you can buy an index fund that's tied to the S&P 500. And on average, the S&P 500 since its inception has delivered returns of 10% on average year over year. So think about, you can make 10% on your money year over year. So if you invested $100 today, at end of that year, you'll have $110. And then at the end of that year, it'll be like 121. And then at the end of that, then it's like 140, because it's like it compounds. So you earn interest on top of that interest.
And like our last thing I was wondering, we've been seeing like a lot of people on Instagram always talking about Forex trading and stuff like that. So what is that? Why do people want us to do it so bad?
I mean, the way that they want you to do it is not like how currency trading actually works. How you see Forex portrayed on Instagram and these groups is kind of like a multi-level marketing scheme, to be honest, where I think you end up paying like some person and they pay something, and by the members of their group, they end up getting paid, and then the people that you bring on. It's not like you can for sure make money doing foreign current or Forex trading, but I just think how it's presented to our generation isn't the right introduction to it. And I oftentimes think that people that do that and maybe making a lot of money don't really understand the fundamentals of why they're actually doing it. But because they can show these people like, tons of blue strips and all this cash and whatnot, it's compelling to people, and they want to get on board, and they don't really understand the intricacies of it. And so they end up losing money doing it because they think they're just going to make money quick. And the thing about investing in the stock market, and why I say like most of your money and your wealth should be in there right now, because it's a long-term type of thing. I know people want to get rich quick, but getting rich quick doesn't really happen. And if you are doing things to get rich quick, you're probably taking on a bunch of risk that may be unnecessary. So when you're thinking about like what stocks to buy, you should be thinking about like, I can hold on to these companies for 5 to 10 years, and they don't have to be penny stocks. They can be companies they should be companies that you actually support. So maybe it's you're buying shares of Nike, you're buying shares of Apple, or it's McDonald's or Walgreens, whatever it may be. It may be companies that you actually support on a daily basis.
Well, thanks for joining us today, Myles. And this was True Topics, and we out. And we're my main host, Amaya. Can't forget about her. So, yeah.